When you're going through your pantry of home canned food, sometimes it's hard to know what should be discarded and what's still good. So let me share some tips on things to look for. If you see these signs, then just go ahead and discard the whole jar of food, whatever it is. We can reuse the jars and the rings. We just need to discard the lids and wash and sterilize the jars before they're used. If it has come unsealed, if that lid pops at all when you touch it, then discard it. Now take a look at this. That has mold covering the entire top of it. Sometimes the jelly will get a little watery. Do you see? And it discolors, even though it is still sealed. Now I have some pickles here that are now 6 years old. They're still sealed, and even though the pickles are still good, they haven't gone bad, they're no longer going to be crisp like they are when they're first made. Here is an exception. I have some green beans that are actually 7 years old. They've been in a cool, dark closet, and there were 3 jars of them, and I opened a jar recently, and they're very good. They taste just as good as the day they were put up. So the age doesn't necessarily mean that they are no longer good, but most people would hesitate to eat these. But since I put them up and they still look good, they still have their color, and so I tried them and they're very good. So I'm going to keep those. But now this hot pepper sauce is still sealed, and these were actually put up 10 years ago. And I would say it's still good, but because it's so old, I may not use these. I may just get rid of them. But another thing that I was going to show you, and I've kind of had an accident with it, but if the jar lid has any rust on it, go ahead and discard it. Now this one I had to show you, and the lid was completely rusted. But when I picked it up and pressed on the lid a little bit, it just fell right through. Now another thing to keep in mind is when you're storing your canned food, you're supposed to take the ring off and just store it with the lid only. But a couple other things that are sure signs that the food has gone bad and would be dangerous to eat is if there is any sign of the food running down the side of the jar, like it is spilled over, or when you hold it up you see bubbles coming up through the liquid. Those are sure signs that the food has gone bad, so get rid of it right away and don't even touch. It's better when you start to check your canned food to wear gloves. I hope this helps. Thanks for stopping by.